Did you know that 1 out of 8 young adults in the United States has been diagnosed with depression, the most common mental disorder in the world? Has anyone ever informed you that suicide is the second leading cause of death in adolescents due to mental illness? Are you aware that depression has increased significantly over the last few years from a percent of 8.7 to 13.2? I learned that depression is expressed not only in feeling, but also in daily activities. One thing I've observed while being around family members with this disorder is that it can overpower some of the most happy-looking people. Depression is not something that goes away by itself. It is something that needs to be treated by a professional who knows and understands what the individual is going through. While researching, I learned that depression is not only caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain, like some may think, but can be triggered by numerous things. It amazed me that some of the things we think are completely harmless are some of the most detrimental on an individual's mental health. Studies have shown that depression in adolescence is at a rapid increase as the future progresses. It is essential that we, as Americans, recognize the causes of depression and become more aware of the people around us as we could possibly save a life. With all of this being said, I feel it is important to discuss how some of the major causes of depression, like diet, social media and screen time, and a chemical imbalance in the brain, can cause further destruction on our health rather than only scratching the surface of this disorder. Let's start with the first cause of depression, diet. What you eat can determine your mental state and physical well-being. Dr. Eva Selhub, a known expert in the fields of resilience, stress, and mind-body medicine, has shared that the majority of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that regulates sleep and appetite, is found and produced in the GI tract. The GI tract is composed of millions of nerve cells that not only help with digestion, but emotion as well. These cells create neural pathways between the gut and the brain that allow communication and a response to the foods that we consume. A girl I went to high school with was one of the most happy, kind, and smartest individuals I have ever met. She was popular and appreciated by everyone. Nobody knew what she was going through, not her family, and certainly not her friends. Eventually, she decided she needed to seek help, and she met with a therapist. After talking with her therapist for a while, the therapist diagnosed her with depression and an eating disorder. The following months were the hardest of her life, but she was determined to push through those moments. In June of this year, she decided to share her story with others to help them realize there is hope, but you must persevere. One quote that she shared that I thought was beautiful and is important to all of us is, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle." All of us are going to experience hard times in our lives, so it is important that we show love, compassion, and kindness to all, because we truly don't know what each person is going through. Eating foods that truly make an individual's mind happy are the ones that will improve their overall health and wellness. Another cause of depression is social media or screen time. Excessive amounts of social media use can take a serious toll on one's daily life. Dr. Bubrick, who has a PhD and is a clinical psychologist at the Child Mind Institute, states that FOMO, or the fear of missing out, is a real thing and many teenagers struggle with it. He mentions that many people try to portray the perfect life on their social media accounts, and this can have a huge effect on the lives of others. So much so that people will begin comparing themselves to others and start lacking in their own self-esteem. Social media can cause feelings of loneliness because of the lack in human interaction. There have been times in my own personal life where I have had to delete my social media accounts because of this. I felt lonely at times and felt betrayed by my friends when they didn't invite me to hang out with them. As mentioned already, people do try to make their lives seem perfect and always exciting, or they post very negative things rather than focusing on the positive in their lives. I began to feel extremely drained and overwhelmed by the negativity and decided that getting rid of my social media platforms would be the best option, and it was. My relationship with my family grew stronger, and I wasn't wasting valuable time looking at a screen for hours on end. Those who spend a significant part of their day on social media are more likely to feel less satisfied with their day. Researchers have conducted many studies that support that previous statement. Finally, depression is caused by a chemical imbalance of the brain. A chemical imbalance of the brain can cause individuals to feel one emotion stronger than other emotions, thus causing depression. Researchers from Harvard University have shared some of the neurotransmitters in the brain that with a decreased amount would cause depression. Some of those are acetylcholine, norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. Researchers also from the Journal of Neuroscience have discovered that those who were depressed had a hippocampus that was smaller than the average by 9 to 13%. The lack of nerve cell production and chemicals in the brain can cause this difference in size. Each person's body is unique and is made up of various different amounts of chemicals. Those who have a heavy imbalance are at risk of depression. This issue can cause other parts of the brain to react differently as well. With all that being said, it is apparent that depression is not something to take lightly. Depression is a serious mental disorder that can make one feel extremely weak and empty, but there is hope. Organizations such as the Anxiety and Depression Association of America and National Alliance on Mental Illness are out there to provide treatment and help heal the wounds. There are also many trained professionals that can provide the counseling necessary for someone entangled in the ropes of this heart-wrenching illness and provide comfort. In the moment, it may seem like all hope has disappeared, just as 16 million teenagers have expressed, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and happiness truly can be found with the right resources. Thank you.